Eric, what impact will former President Ma Ying-jeou's trip to China have on the KMT's chances next year?
After the Ukraine invasion and U.S. former Speaker Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, many people have now considered what would it take to manage the threat of that from Beijing, posed by Beijing, and how to reduce this threat. I think one way of doing it is what former President Ma Ying-jeou has demonstrated in the past 12 days, is by communication and by goodwill. I think this offers an alternative to only beefing up defense. And I believe beefing up defense, building up our defense capability is important. But I think former President Ma has now offered another consideration.
Billionaire Terry Gou just announced his bid for the KMT nomination. What's behind this?
I think there are a number of elements that led to this, led to Terry Gou's candidacy. One is that people might have expected a sooner nomination from the KMT headquarters. And that being said, now instead of just one presumptive candidate in new Taipei City Mayor Hou You-yi, now we have two candidates in Mayor Hou and Mr. Terry Gou in this round of KMT, though we don't have a primary, but in this round of KMT's 2024 presidential bid. I think that speaks to some of our supporters' concern that DPP already has nominated Vice President William Lai, and KMT hasn't come behind one candidate. But however, I think in a democracy, and KMT is a fully democratic party, having more choices, having debates, having discussions, having policy platform exchanges is always a sign of vivid democracy. And that being said, I think KMT, the party, the supporters, can also benefit from the competition or campaigning between new Taipei Mayor Hou and Mr. Terry Gou. And I think, after Mr. Terry Gou wrapped up his visit to the United States, he has somehow introduced his platform as a presidential candidate. He will introduce technology, proposals to advance Taiwan's tech industry, policies to advance Taiwan's medical and tech industry, and fusing the two. And I think now people await to see what policies or what type of reforms Mayor Hou would round his campaign up.
In terms of Terry's own personal aspirations, do you feel this comes out of a personal legacy, as we've seen with Donald Trump?
A lot of comparison has been drawn by the media between Terry and Trump. And I know for a fact that they are personal friends and they speak to one another, they talk to one another. Yet I think the similarity stops there. They're both business people, and that's it. Though they were in very different industry. Trump was in real estate, and Terry was, in the tech industry. But the politics behind the two men are very different. I think it's fair to say Donald Trump benefited from populism in America. He benefited from the ultra right wing of the Republican Party, versus Terry, at least so far, and I don't want to speak for his campaign. From my observation, he's coming from the middle ground of the political spectrum. He's trying to attract independent voters versus deep blue voters. So I think the similarity between the two men are there. Maybe you can speak to their personality. They're all strong men.
Terry is also very deeply entrenched in terms of business ties with China. Do you feel this is a sign that the KMT is moving a bit closer to or warming up to China?
Traditionally, a lot of KMT supporters they harbor sentiments towards China because of historical reasons. I think Terry represents a different types of Pen Blue supporters. For those, they're strictly pro-business. For those who purely see China geographically being close to Taiwan and being a huge business opportunity. So no, I don't think this is a step closer towards China. I think this just means that KMT, at least the supporters of Terry, that represents that we are a pro-business party, we are a pro-economy party, and for economy and business to thrive, you need a peaceful and stable cross-strait relations.
Gou also made a trip to the U.S. What do you think will come out of that?
He met with a lot of industrial leaders. I think I read somewhere he met with Sam Altman, the owner of the GPT, and I think he met with a number of deans of medical schools, whether it was Harvard or University of Maryland. So I think for him, he's coming more from as a industry leader, a tech industry leader, and more than a politician.
Can he appear to be pro-China while at the same time maintaining good relations with Washington?
I think that idea on paper sounds appealing, and I think, however, reality might be hard to achieve. I think Washington policymakers now has made it clear that allies has to stand with American 100%, even though American officials, they welcome communication, but that is a different idea of in international relations what we call balancing. So I think in great power competition, in today's U.S.-China relations, that will hard, especially for Taiwan, to achieve that goal. That is not to say Terry or any other Taiwan president can achieve that.